one. Let's get it, folks. Hey, what's going on? This is Mike Bird, and you are listening to Hammered. That's right, we are back with another episode. On today's show, we've got Mr. John Doc Rowley. John, he's a fellow podcaster. He hosts his own show called Beyond the Barrel. You can find wherever you get your shows at. John's going to be talking about veterans. And what his show is all about is basically he interviews veterans and listens to their success stories. As a fellow vet myself, you know, I was interested and I really wanted to have John on the show so we could talk about how his podcast is helping veterans. I've listened to a few episodes of his and I gotta say it's funny, entertaining, and I hope you all enjoy my interview with John. So without further ado, this is Hammered with John Doc Rowley. What's up, John? How you doing, man?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, so we got John Doc Rowley in studio. John, hey, he's got his own podcast, Beyond the Barrel, right?
Yep, Beyond the Barrel. It's a veteran-focused podcast. What we do is we interview successful veterans and kind of highlight the path that they took to find success. Because, I mean, you're a veteran. You know how it is. You get out, you lose that drive, you lose that purpose, you lose that passion for life. And too many people just, you know, take their own lives and they find themselves lost. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to be a light on that dark spot. So just trying to let them know that they're not the only ones that go through it. Everybody does it, even the most successful motherfuckers out there. You know, everybody struggles. So.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Like, what have you been up to, man? I mean, I've known you. God, let's see. So I met you at the gym. It was a Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, like 2015 maybe.
Yeah, it's probably
2014.
right.
It was like right when I got out of the Army.
I think I had just gotten separated too. 14 maybe? Yeah, I think you're about right.
2014.
All right, so before we had those technical difficulties, we were talking about our history. You know, I met you at Lifetime in Rowley, North Carolina.
Yeah.
We lifted weights for a little bit, became buddies, and damn, I haven't seen you in a while.
Nah, it's been a while. I mean, shit, I've been busy as fuck. Put myself back through college, got remarried after my divorce. You met me probably right before I got divorced. And yeah, I mean, shit got hairy for a little while.
Oh, well, we got hairy, man.
Man, you name it. So when I knew you, you know that I was working for my dad in his marketing company.
Yeah.
So that came into a very abrupt ending. I was going through my divorce. He was going through a divorce with my mom. And he came to the office, was kind of showing his ass, and like you know, we're both very much alpha males. And so I had like this 6 foot by 6 foot L-shaped glass desk that I worked on, so I could work on my different computers and whatnot. I threw it at him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I was working out at the time. I was strong as fuck, and I just took that thing and I just turned that motherfucker over. I'm allowed to curse on the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just turned it over, and I was like, me and him butted heads a little bit after that. Didn't talk for a little while, and now we're in a good space. We both worked on our own demons and whatnot. So, was going through a divorce, quit my job via property damage. Decided to go back to school, started a company. I was doing high-end renovations. Graduated from school, decided to close my company, go work for another big builder. Now I build commercial buildings. And then about maybe 6-7 months ago, I decided, hey, I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's a Navy vet. He was with the SEALs. He was a comm guy with the SEALs. And we were talking about, hey, let's do a veteran product to try to help people that are struggling, yada, yada, yada. Well, fast forward a little bit, he starts going through a divorce, and I become for lack of a better term, like his go-to therapist. He was calling me, bro, talk me off the ledge, I'm struggling, this, that, and the other thing. So I got married October 19th of last year, so 10/19/19. He was one of the groomsmen at my wedding. I get back to the house. We rented this huge fucking house in Asheville, and I'm like, where the fuck's Kyle at? And they're like, oh, he left. Oh no, that was the next morning. The next morning they said he left. I was like, okay, no big deal. He said he was going to leave early. Well, that was Saturday. I got a call from him on Monday. He's like, bro, just got out. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just got out. So he decided to go home with him and his wife were, I guess, we're trying to go through some stuff. I'm putting his business out there. Well, he decides to go Tiger Woods on New Boys Forerunner. So I had to work him through.
You mean
all
Tiger's wife?
Yeah, Tiger's wife.
Tiger's wife.
Yeah,
on it. Okay.
He said he was he was in the middle of switching golf clubs when the cops showed up.
Oh wow.
So anyways, I ended up helping him through all that, and I still do. I mean, it's a lot less often that I get those crazy ass phone calls now, but we decided we were going to do a product to kind of help these guys out that are struggling. Because I mean, I went through a lot of shit when I got out. You know, depression, PTSD. Shit, I almost drove my Harley in front of a tractor trailer at one point before I decided I wanted to make a change.
Damn, that sounds like Sons of Anarchy. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
The series finale.
Yeah.
That would not have been good.
No, that would have been ugly. That would have been really ugly. But I decided that day, I was like, this is wrong. I need to change. So I made a lot of changes. Changed my job, changed my marriage, changed everything. And put myself on a different direction. And once I got there and life was getting better, shit, just even financially. Like a lot of people get out and they're financially in trouble. I mean, I got out and I had a great job. I was making great money. But then when I quit my job, went through my divorce, I was paying $2,700 a month in child support and alimony with no job. So I went from no debt other than my car and my house to $85,000 in credit card debt.
I remember that back when I knew you back there. You talking about the alimony and all
that.
That
was
wow.
That was a huge weight on my shoulders. And I dug myself out of it, debt-free again. Only thing I got is my car and my house. But when we were going through this with Kyle, we were talking, and we wanted to help other guys that were going through it. So we decided we were going to write a book. And then we're like, well, how do we know what people are going to, what kind of problems they have? Like, actually, like, I know my problems, I know my friends' problems, but I don't know globally what's going to help people the most. So we decided, well, hey, we're going to interview a whole lot of veterans to see what the sticking points were. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know, if I'm going to be interviewing all these people, why don't I record it and turn it into a podcast so people can listen to it, they can watch it. And that's what we did. Here we are. I mean, we've just launched our 9th episode, and so far they've been all fairly big names, a couple of smaller names, but they had really good stories, backgrounds, books. A lot of guys in special operations community. I mean, hell, we led with John Burke, so you know that's a pretty big name in the vet community. And so, I mean, we've getting good feedback. Still learning the ropes, though. I mean, we're still really new. I mean, you've got a hell of a lot more episodes under your belt than we do.
Some of those episodes, though, I listened to them back, and I'm like, oh, my God, I wish I could delete it. But you know what? I want to keep it up there for everybody to listen to because I'm going to come back one day and be like, that's how I used to be, and this is what I am now. At least that's my hopes. I hope I'm not
growing
trash.
show.
I mean, hey, man, I got you up here now, so, I mean, look at this. From one podcast host to another. How does it feel to be the interviewee this time?
This is actually I think it's the second time. I was on my buddy. Actually, I don't know if you know him. You know Chris Brethauer?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
He's a buddy of mine. I went to high school. Actually, I went to middle school with him. And he had a podcast that was really successful, but he got zucked. So he got closed down on every social media platform. He says he's proud of this. He lasted, I think he says like 12 minutes on Twitter. And then he called Nancy Pelosi a twat or something. And
that was it.
That was it. It was done. And then, but Facebook shut him down. Instagram shut him down. And he was just, his was a far right bitch fest, essentially. So they were calling people out. They were doing all that shit. But it turned into an echo chamber for people to go in there and bitch and call him out and make death threats. And he's just like, you know what, fuck this. And he stopped. I mean, I think his partner still has it going on because he didn't want to let it die, but it's dead.
Man, I got to tell you, this is like a scary time we live in. And, you know, I don't mind talking politics on the show. I'm pretty much, you know, I used to be not far right, but I conservative.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty much in the middle. And the power that big tech has over us is scary. I mean, I hate to say it, but I've toned down a lot of my social media stuff because I rely on social media for Hammered and this other group I have called ATB. I rely on all of that for that. So if I say the wrong thing, They got the power to snatch my ass off.
Look what they just did to Parler.
Dude.
I mean, Parler, they're like, oh, you or Facebook and Twitter, they're like, oh, you don't like being censored on our programs. Go start your own. So the owner of Parler is like, fuck it, I started my own.
Yeah.
And then Facebook and Instagram, they're like, no.
I did hear Parler's coming back at the end of the month.
Yeah, they had to find a new platform because I guess they were hosting on Amazon, and
Amazon's part of that. Yeah. I don't even know if I should say Amazon's like I'm scared right now. Because right now I'm on Amazon Music.
I am too.
So yeah,
I'm pretty wild on Facebook and Instagram personally, not on my company page, my podcast pages. Yeah. Even sometimes my podcast pages, but somehow I've never been blocked.
Wow.
I don't know. Like all my friends are always like, "Oh, I just got out of 30-day Facebook jail again," and I'm like, I shared the same shit that you did.
They gotten smart too because I got 5 Facebook profiles. I know you don't need 5 profiles, but I got 5. So they blocked my one. They got smart now. I can't just get on my other one and go up there. They blocked them all.
That's what they did to my buddy Chris.
They got them all numbered now. So once you become on their radar, they got you.
I think you got to do it without connecting all your same information. You got to have like a throwaway phone. Yeah, so when you log in with your phone, it's not linked to your regular phone number.
Well, I had like my regular phone number. I've got like my work phone number.
Yeah.
They got them all now.
This is the 911, right? That's your work phone number?
It should be. Excuse me. One thing they were doing, I think it started a couple of days ago, but a lot of people on Facebook that were like opinionated politically, a lot that gained a reputation of getting blocked, and going to Facebook jail, they just like suspended their accounts.
They started that in October. Because what happened was Facebook switched from being I guess it's like a social media company or whatever it was. Now it's a marketing company, so they can censor you. But they had to go to I think the Supreme Court for it. So starting last October, that's when they started really like putting the kibosh on people, like Alex Jones, guys like that. And then they just cut them off.
Well, I know, so we're recording this podcast on Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
Today's January 20th. And I know a lot of people, one guy messaged me last night and goes, man, why'd you block me from the group? And I'm like, I looked at his account, and it was all in good standing with me. But it turns out the old Zuckerberg got him. Said that, what did it say? January 23rd, he would be able to post again. And a lot of people were getting the exact same message that he got. I don't have it in front of me, but it basically was saying, I think it was conspiracy theory. They were silencing all these people that had voices during the inauguration.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't put it past. I mean, Twitter and Facebook have shown their biases and how they stand and what you can say without getting axed.
Oh yeah,
I
don't put anything past any of these companies. They're self-serving, and to an extent, I support it. But I also support our constitutional rights to freedom of speech.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a major platform, I get you don't want hate speech and shit like that, but just because you have a differing opinion, fuck that.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, Mark Zuckerberg, fuck you too.
Oh, God. Well, I did enjoy my Facebook platform for a while.
Just delete that part out. Or put a gunshot when I say his name. Something cool.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
Screaming eagle.
Like a ding.
Yeah.
A car crash sound effect. Yeah, we got that.
Or hell, even just make the sound of a dick getting hard. That'd be cool.
That has a sound?
I don't know, does it?
I don't.
Mine kind of squeaks. Yours doesn't?
Mine talks. It says, thank God. Thank God. Still.
That's because you're what, 45 now?
45, man.
Yeah, man.
45, getting younger every day.
Yeah. At least you got your hair.
Barely.
I'm lucky. I'm the only one in my family that still has their hair.
I'm disappointed I don't see any gray in your beard, bro.
It's on the side of my head.
No. Well, see, that's mine. My logo's not too far-fetched from the way I actually look.
It's a little... You're not as tan. That kind of looks like a Mexican. I'm joking.
There's something else, but no, we'll leave that.
We digress.
Where were we? Oh, let me pull up my notes here. Okay. So you were in the military, of course. You were in the Army.
Yeah, I was a medic.
Yeah. A medic in the Army.
Yeah.
I think you told me you were a medic.
Yeah, it was with 4th ID. Did one tour in Afghanistan. Went to Kunai River, Providence. Pretty kinetic tour. On the way.
What years were you in?
I was in from 2009 to 2013, 2014.
Oh, okay. So you were in during a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, our XO got the Medal of Honor while we were there.
Wow, pretty cool.
Grabbed, and that was pretty shitty.
Well, okay, what a Medal of Honor, and usually you're not alive.
Yeah, we had they were doing a movement. My platoon, one of the squads from my platoon were pulling security for them because it was all higher ups, and suicide bomber walks in the front, walks in the back. First guy detonates. Second guy goes to detonate, and my XO grabbed a hold of him, ran him out of the platoon, threw him on the ground, detonated at his feet. He lived, killed 3 officers, high-ranking officers, 1 our command sergeant major, and then a bunch of guys got fucked up. There was, I think, 37 casualties.
Wow. Like you were lucky to get out of there unscathed, I guess.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there?
Oh. They had one of my squads. So I was attached to the infantry. So we had 5 squads, and then me, and we had an RTO, and everybody else was infantrymen. The rest of us were on a different mission, and it came over the radio that they got hit and it was bad, and we were in an area that we had no idea where. Like they haven't had Americans there in a couple years. Like probably 8-9 years, so we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. And they're like, nobody fucking breaks our ranks, and nobody did. If they did, they were getting handled.
Damn, man, that's like super. Yeah, that's just shitty beyond belief. Like, how many tours did you do over there?
I just did one.
Just the one?
I got hurt on the tail end of my second tour.
Oh.
So I came back and had a couple surgeries, and then I got med boarded.
No.
And it's nothing cool. I was we were on our way back, and we were wrestling around. So we were so amped up from tour because we were always on patrol in gunfights, getting shot at, or just we were always doing something. It was always combat oriented. So when we were on our way back, we were so fucking amped up. Like, to decompress, we would whoop the shit out of each other. We just fight. So we were in Bagram, which is a huge Air Force base, and we're in what they call Tent City, and we're in these huge tents where hundreds of people that are in transit stay, and you've got us. Most of them were like non-combat oriented people, and then you had us amped the fuck up from deployment. And we were fighting, me and one of my buddies, and I choked his ass out on a bunk, and when I went to move his body, it slipped out of my hand and ripped my shoulder apart.
Oh shit.
And but we got kicked out of the tents actually because we broke like 4 bunks. We were just fucking shit up. That's cool.
You know what? It's not as cool as your story, but I got a story like that and a military story. So I was in 96 through 2000.
Good old Desert Storm.
Yeah, and I was fortunate, man. Like, I didn't when I got to my unit, 427 Field Artillery, it was actually 429 Field Artillery back when I got there in 96. They were deployed to Bosnia.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there, and I was on rear detachment. So they came back, and I spent 2 years there. Man, best 2 years of my life was in that unit. It was all males. The camaraderie that you build,
there's nothing like it.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Man, I got sent to Fort Carson after that. Fuck. I was ready to run away, dude.
I forgot you were at Carson.
Yeah,
I was at Carson.
They sent me to a cab unit. What in the hell was the cab?
361?
Yes. And it sucked, bro. It was the worst fucking time of my life. So I got out on a medical, but I pushed it. I went to the hospital several times, and they were about to send me back to Germany, and I had just met my ex-wife, and I was like, nah, I'm done with this shit.
Should have went to Germany.
Man, it was something else. But Germany, man, best time of my life. I fortunately didn't see any combat. I just got out when 9/11 had happened, and that's when the wheels fell off. So, yeah, my brother was in the Air Force. He saw a little bit of Afghanistan. He was deployed with the Army unit. But, yeah, man, we got to come up with a better story for your shoulder. You got to, like, take a round for somebody or something.
Well, no, what I'll tell people if I don't know them, I'll just look at them and said I was in Afghanistan. I was fighting somebody with my hands, and I hurt my shoulder.
Oh, there you go.
I choked them out, and then when I went to move their lifeless body, it tore my shoulder.
Lifeless body.
And then I'll just look at them, and I'll kind of give them that like blank stare.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be like, get really uncomfortable, and they won't hold eye contact. It's fucking great. And my wife will laugh. She'll be like, it's nothing special.
Oh, it's like my pec, right? Okay, I don't have a cool ass story for this, but I tore my pec. I can't even say I tore it like trying to lift 400 pounds or anything. I got it torn off a fucking float on a boat. I was being pulled on one of those floats, and
that's fucking hard, man.
Bro, because I had just rode it with someone else, and my daughter wanted to ride it with me. And I told the guy driving the boat, I was like, okay, fine, let's do this. Don't throw me. Being thrown off that.
Hold on, do you got a boat?
I got a boat, but he's got a boat.
Why are we doing this on your boat?
It's too cold.
Fuck, that's a good point. In
It's too cold.
in the summer we got to.
Hey.
I'll buy gas. I tell people I don't ever want to own a boat.
Yeah.
I want to have friends with boats.
Well, here you go,
I'll throw
bro.
in some money. Yeah, fuck it. Well, whatever. I just don't want the maintenance.
All right, it's recorded. You're coming out on the boat this summer when I launch it. Hey, cheers to that.
I'll drink to that.
Let's do it. All right, so I told him I like, please don't throw me, okay?
Stop playing with this. It's gonna be distracting in the video. I'm sitting here twisting it around.
Well, yeah, you can see your hands in the video, so I mean it's all good. But anyway, I said, please don't throw me. Don't throw me, okay? All right, we got you, bird. No, we won't throw you. He fucking threw me. And when he threw me, I went flying off of this thing in such a way that my arm, when I hit the water, I was going so fast. I hit it so hard that my arm just went back like this. And immediately I felt the tendon pop.
Did it roll over to the center?
It was a partial tear, not a complete tear. And like, it's deformed. It is. It's all screwed up. I'm definitely not as strong as I used to be because of that. And they had to save me. They had to rescue me out of the water. I couldn't even swim, bro. It was so pathetic. I was like screaming, and it was awful.
I've only been on a float once in my adult life. I did it when I was a kid. This summer we went to my aunt and uncle's lake house in Alabama. They've got a really badass wakeboarding boat. We were out there wakeboarding or trying to wakeboard. I got up once, and then I was like, "Cool, I'm done." I win. But we went out and we were riding around on the float, and we get out there, and my daughter and my cousin get stuck in the middle of a Trump rally on the water, which sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But it was so choppy, and there was nowhere to go. Like, they were holding on for dear life, trying to, like, not get... Because if they would have gotten thrown out, a boat would have hit them.
Oh, shit.
And we had
many boats?
We had thousands and thousands of boats.
Wow, where was this at?
Smith Lake in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
It's a big lake, but there were so many people out there. It was completely unsafe. And, like, we kind of just fell into the middle of it. Scary shit. I got into it at first, and we thought we were getting away from it. So I was in it, and I was holding on so tight I was sore for 3 days after that because it was gonna throw me out because it's so choppy.
Yeah. And
then we went to an area where we thought that the parade wasn't, and that's where we got to the actual parade. We're like, fuck me.
Wow. What were you doing there? Just vacation or something?
Yeah, just vacationing. It was right when COVID was kicking off, and my aunt and uncle invited us over. We're like, yeah, fuck it. So we drove down to Alabama for, 4 or 5 days. They got jet skis. They got a big wakeboarding boat. Their houses, their vacation house is like right up on the hill. You walk down this steep ass hill, and you got their floating dock, and it goes 4 feet out of the end of the yard. It goes 60 feet down.
Damn. Man, that's goals right there.
Yeah.
I want a lake house. I've got a 20-foot pontoon. I mean, it serves its purpose,
It's a party barge.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, it's actually a fishing barge. It's made by Tracker. It's called a fishing barge. It's got live wells in it, 2 live wells, and it came with a trolling motor. It's pretty badass. It's like GPS trolling motor. You just like plug it in, and
You don't strike me as a fishing type.
I think I fished twice on it. I've been partying on it. I've had it for 2 seasons now. Almost sank that bitch in Carr Lake. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the thing. The lakes around here aren't nice enough for me to ever want to have a lake house.
Yeah, especially like I don't have Falls Lake. That sucks.
Falls Lake sucks. Jordan Lake's okay, but like the lakes around here, they're not deep. So like warm water to me is just, I don't want to go swimming in warm water. Like it was in areas that's hundreds of feet deep, because it used to be it was a mountain range, and they built a dam and they flooded it.
Was that the one up? I went camping at one in Virginia. I can't remember.
Gaston?
No, it wasn't Gaston. It was something else. Gaston's it was a flooded town. They flooded the town.
Oh, I want to go scuba diving there.
And it would be pretty badass.
You ever done that?
No.
That's fucking badass, man. We got it. So when I got married, we went snuba in Hawaii.
Snuba?
Snuba's like, it's different. You don't need any certifications. Your tank stays up on a raft, and you just swim around. You can only go like 17 feet deep. And you swim around. You got weights on or whatever. Well, we thought it was pretty cool. So that year for Christmas, my wife got me a scuba certification. Or a scuba certification. So we went and got scuba certified and been off the coast of North Carolina a handful of times. But really there's not. We wanted to go we were going to go to Bonaire in South America. So like right off the coast of Honduras in January. But with COVID going on, I didn't want to risk spending all that money and not being able to get in or out of the country. But last time I went, we were off the coast of North Carolina. It was in November. We're going to a shipwreck. It's like 75 feet deep, big tugboat. And we get out there, and the water was so rough. We had probably six foot swells. Jesus. As soon as we stop on this boat, I start throwing up. And I've never been seasick before. I was throwing up so much, like somebody else got my gear together. I got in the water, felt immediately better. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Like you get sick on the boat, you get in the water, you're good. So I stopped throwing up. I get all my gear on, jump in the water, we're good. But we follow the mooring line down to the bottom. They moor down to the boat that's down there. And I'm sitting there following this line. I don't even see the boat until it's this far from me, like a foot, because it was so murky. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing the second dive. Get it back on the boat, unhook all my gear, immediately start throwing up again. So I'm just like, son of a bitch. I ended up waiting the second dive out. And so I was just up there throwing up for about 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was fucking terrible.
That's
I was like, somebody bring me water so I have something to throw up.
God, I'm pretty lucky. I don't get seasick.
Neither. That was my first time.
Really?
And I was taking seasickness pills.
You ever been deep sea fishing, like on a chartered boat or anything?
No.
Yeah, I've been out twice on those. One time the seas were really choppy, and I was lucky. Everybody else was like, blah, all around me, dude. And I was still.
It's fine when you're moving. It's when you sit still. When you stop, like driving there, driving back, I'm good. But when you're sitting there and you're literally just going up and down and up and down, and you're not moving, that's when you really get sick.
I'll remember that if I ever do what's it called, mooring, or taking the mooring line down to a wreck or something.
You gotta get certified for that. Like, God, it's so expensive.
Oh shit, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, the certifications are. There's so many different certifications that you can get. The expensive stuff is the gear. But once you own it, it's cheap. You just pay for a boat.
But then how often do you use it? Holy shit.
If you own the gear, we went. See, here's the cool thing. There is scuba parks in town. There's one in Knightdale. There's one in Rollsville. And they're all over the place. They're usually like old quarries. So they go out there. They'll sink helicopters. They'll sink buses. They'll sink airplanes. And then you go down there and you just scuba. Shit. Like there's one 10 minutes from my house in Window.
So you're speaking Chinese. I have no idea. It's just one of those. It comes across to me like, because I know how I am. Like, oh, this is the fad now. I'm going to get it. And then, so for example, I bought a hot tub, kind of like the beginning of the pandemic. I saw somebody post one on Facebook. I was like, damn, yeah, fuck yeah. I got my damn stimulus check. Trump's buying me a hot tub. So I bought one of those inflatable hot tubs. It was like 8 people, seats 8 people comfortable. It only gets up to 104 degrees during the summer. So during the winter time, it wasn't even touching that.
Yeah.
And I used it probably 5 times. I sold that bitch on Marketplace. Got rid of it.
Yeah, I've got my wife was worried about that with my podcast. She's like, you're good at starting stuff and then not finishing it. I was like, and then I started like tallying up how much money I spent, and I was like, there's no fucking way I'm backing out of this because she'll kill me.
I know the feeling, bro.
Like hell, I had to buy a new MacBook Pro. I was in the middle of a podcast with a guy that took me a long time to land. I was in the middle of it, and my computer stops recording video because I ran out of disk room. Oh. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm going through and I'm deleting files, and I don't even know what's in them. Yeah. I'm just deleting shit. So it didn't stop the audio. Yeah. And I had just enough space.
That's one thing I learned. Make sure I bought this HP computer. I don't have MacBook money. I saw them and I was like, fuck, not yet. Yeah, maybe eventually.
It was pricey.
But I made sure I went and upgraded all my equipment. And I'm like you. I was like, how long are you going to do this, Mike, before you just like up and say, fuck it, I'm done. A lot of people say most podcasters don't get past 20. Mm-hmm. So once I passed 20, I was like, okay, at least I'm out of that percentage.
See, I made the mistake of asking friends of mine that were new about podcasts and audio visual engineering what I should get. So they gave me advice, and it was all very expensive. All of it.
Well, I mean, most of the time you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I've tried cheap stuff before, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think eventually there's going to be a return on this investment. You know, that right now the hard part is, we talked about this earlier. I'm trying to do 2 new releases a week, and you only do 1, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that up because I know I seem like I like to talk, but damn, I think you could burn out if you keep trying to find guests.
That's the hard part, getting the guests, and then it's also, say you do an hour podcast, you gotta edit the audio and video. That's another 2.5 hours, so that's per episode.
That's true.
And then you've got to write. Then you've got to write the copy. You've got to do graphics. Like I do graphics for each one of my guests. I send out social media swipes so they can just copy and paste. It makes it very easy for them. Most of them don't do it, or if they do it, they'll write their own. But I mean, I still put in all that footwork. So I mean, it takes time. So I wanted to set a precedence. I will release every Tuesday. I didn't want to overcommit and then let somebody down.
Yeah.
So if we get to the point to where it starts bringing us some money and we can start streamlining some of this stuff, or we get better at it to where it's easier to do and where it takes less time, then we can think about doing more than 1 episode a week. But I didn't want to jump into it because we shoot for a 45-minute episode. Most of them are an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because I'm just good at talking, I guess.
The hardest part that I'm having is, I don't have a producer. You don't have a producer either.
No.
But when you have to sit here and you have to and you want your stuff to look real professional, you have to focus on you, the guest, and the computer. And you have to toggle the scenes and, right now, transition, and that can be a pain in the ass because then sometimes I lose focus on what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I try not to, but it just happens.
So you could always do that in post-production. If you just recorded, if you're recording each one of these, if you have each, now it takes up a lot more memory. If you're recording each of them, then you just you input it into and then you just switch it. What we're trying to do is like I was telling you earlier, we're going to do, because there's 2 of us, so our video, and then input our guests, because most of our guests, since they're kind of bigger names, we don't do it in person because nobody's going to fly out for my, I don't know, a few hundred subscriber podcast.
Well, I mean, if you have big names on your podcast, and then I've got you on my podcast, so I'm thinking I've got a pretty big name, so I mean, I'm thinking you're gonna blow my podcast up now.
I'm gonna share it. Facebook, Instagram, to all those people that I was talking shit about earlier.
Oh, that's I mean, that's how your podcast. I'm sorry, as you were. That's how your podcast grows, man. Mm-hmm. I'm a member of a couple of Facebook groups, for podcasters.
Invite me. I haven't found any that are worth a damn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's a lot that There's one where you can't share your podcast. It's only like questions, and the admins have to approve everything that you put up there. And then there's one where you share your podcast with other people. But then who's going to really cold click your link and like listen to your shit?
Most of the ones that I'm part of, it's I've got time. Listen for listen.
Yeah.
You know, shoot me a screenshot. It's like I want real listeners. I don't want fake listeners.
I don't want that fake
I want real
shit.
numbers.
That's exactly how I feel. That's how I feel. Podcasting is all about luck, man. It's all about the right guest with the right network.
Not true, because I've had some big guests and some great networks, and a lot of those really big names are too big. They have like a social media manager, and they're less likely to, not less likely, but in my experience so far, they're not gonna. They might share what you tag them in, but they're not gonna post it, and it shows up differently if it's shared versus, especially on Instagram. And a lot of these guys are big on Instagram. So like you got I interviewed John Burke, Nick Palmisano at Ranger Up, Rocco with he was in Range 15. I've interviewed a handful of Hollywood actors that are ex-military guys, and what I found is the smaller the name, the more they're likely to show it, because they're trying to build their audience too. Like the guys with a big audience, they already have a big audience, and they've got something that they already have their shit planned out what they're going to share with them. They don't necessarily want to dilute it by showing my little podcast.
Well, here's what you need, and he fits what your podcast is all about. Now, I don't know how you would go about getting this guy, but you need Dan Blazarian.
No, I don't want to interview that guy.
You don't want to interview him?
No.
First off, by your reaction, I'm just going to say you don't like him.
I think he's like one of the, like, I don't want to say scum of the earth, but like kind of one of those guys. First off, he's a fake Navy SEAL. He wasn't in the military. And he makes his money by, you know, we're trying to create healthy mentality.
Yeah.
He makes his money with drugs, promoting drugs, alcohol, and women. Like, I don't know. I listened to his podcast with Joe Rogan, and him and Joe Rogan sat and talked for a couple of hours. This guy went to Navy boot camp. What's it called? Buzz.
He went
through it. Buzz is for SEALs.
Well, he did Hell Week. Was it 2 times or 3 times?
Oh, was he in the military?
Yeah. Dan Blazarian was in the Navy. Unless he lied on Joe Rogan's podcast, he went through SEAL training twice. And the first time he got hurt, I believe. The second time, they let him get all the way to graduation week and cut him because he was not liked.
Well, Buds is only a very small percentage of SEAL training. Buds is, I think it's a week. SEAL training is over a year.
Well, it was like Hell Week. He said in that podcast that he went through Hell Week twice, and he got out on a fucking damn medical. I think he's like 30% like me.
Shit.
Yeah, and he won all his money. He became Dan Blazarian, the Playboy, from gambling, from playing poker.
Because his dad's a poker player.
Yeah, and man, I got to tell you, I listened to his podcast I was playing golf, started it. It was like an hour from here, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this dude is interesting as fuck." And all I seen was like his Instagram post where he was like a playboy, got all these women around him and shit. But I was like, "Damn, this dude went through Hell Week twice and passed it both times."
Well, he didn't pass it either time if he didn't keep going.
No, he kept going past Hell Week.
Oh, he did?
He got past Hell Week twice. I think he said at one there was like 200 people that went through it, and he was one of 15 that made it. And he did it twice and got all the way to the end to graduation week, and they cut him because they didn't like him. He was not liked.
I wonder how accurate that is.
It came from his mouth. Yeah, so I don't know.
I've got some buddies that are pretty intertwined with the SEALs. Like I interviewed, you know who Ray Kashkar is?
No, I don't know.
He's ex-Navy SEAL, worked with one of the 3-letter alphabet companies as an operator for many years. Dude is a straight, just killer mentality. Just he's ultra. Do you know who Bedros Keuilian is? He's a business owner. He was a military, but he has got a crazy background. He came from, I think Russia or one of those like countries over there, real socialistic. Came over here as a child, worked his way up and everything, but he owns the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise, and then he started something called Project X or the Project or whatever they're calling it now. And it's for civilians. It's a 3-day leadership program, but it's run like buds. So you're in there, you're running in the surf, you're doing log carries. They're beating the shit out of you. My buddy Ray is one of their instructors.
Bro, could you do that right now? How old are you,
Fuck,
John?
I couldn't do that when I was in shape. I'm 35.
Jesus, I'm 10 years older than you. I can barely get out the bed.
I don't run. I'm in pain constantly. I'm 90% disabled from the VA. Shit. Yeah, you see me moving around a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't work behind a desk because I cramp up. It's like arthritis every fucking where.
Back when I knew you before, when we worked out in the gym, I look back at those days, man. I was doing box jumps on like a table taller than this, and so I had a little accident back in was it 16 or 17? My old ass was crowd surfing at a fucking rock festival, and I remember it like it was yesterday, man. I made it almost to the barricade, and I was probably 6 foot up in the air, and they dropped me right on my back, and it was the most pain I've had in so long. I thought I was fucked up. I thought like I was paralyzed. So somehow I got back to our tailgate spot, sat in a lawn chair, and did not move for 5 hours. The next day, I drank a beer.
Was this at that rock festival that was like multiple days?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carolina Rebellion.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that.
Man, I told my buddies we're going. Bro, 2020, we didn't see one concert. Yeah. Nobody saw a concert.
Nobody.
It broke a streak, man. I'd at least seen one big band for like the past 5-6 years.
We usually go to a lot of shows. We go to Walnut Creek. We see a lot of country shows.
Yeah. Shit, I was at one tailgating one day and saw your dad there.
Did you?
Yeah, your dad came up to our tailgate, and I was like, oh, I know you from the gym. Yeah. Yeah. He's a hard guy to miss.
Yeah.
He definitely
walking around looking like Stone Cold.
Yeah. Who can a whiplash? Yeah. Shit, I digress. What the hell was I talking about?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
See what happens when you get old?
Yeah, man. Hey, I was like that when I was young.
Oh, we're talking about the concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like the big ones that we tailgated was country concerts.
Yeah.
Loved it, man.
Yeah, it's a good time. I was looking forward to, who was it? Chris Stapleton. I wanted to go see that show, and then they fucking canceled. I was like, you cocksuckers.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, they're starting to schedule stuff back.
Are they?
Yeah. I've seen some on Facebook. Like, I saw, like, Alanis Morissette's coming to town.
Could you imagine being the owner of Walnut Creek? Or whatever they call it right now?
a ghost town. Ghost Town Creek.
Could you imagine owning that property? Like, what do you, like, you still got to pay for it.
Yeah, how's it being maintained throughout the whole year? Is it, like...
That's a good question. How are they paying the mortgage on it?
Well, shit. I mean, if they need somebody to occupy that stage, we can do some live podcasts from it.
I mean, it's got a big jump, a big hill on it. We can turn it into a little BMX track.
Yeah, I guess you could, or some fake snow and make like some snowboard ramps or something like that. I don't know. I hope this year it's open back up and they do something with it.
Yeah, I hope we get some snow this year.
If we do, it'll be in April.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Flowers are blooming, everything's pretty, and then it snows and kills it.
Yeah,
it's like, motherfucker.
Well, let's see. Let me go back to my notes here. So you're 9 episodes deep into... How'd you come up with the name? And before you touch on that, your intro. That dude, man, he sounds familiar. Who is that?
I don't know. I found him on Fiverr.
So you pay him to do it?
Yeah, this is a motivational voice.
Damn.
I wrote it, though.
Yeah,
I wrote the script.
It's pretty badass, man. I like it.
I was like, I need something that I don't want it to sound like a fucking French fry commercial, and that's what all the voiceovers are like. Hi, welcome to da 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 da. No, fuck you. I want somebody to come in there and feel pumped up when they're about to go. So we hired I think it was called an urban motivational speaker, motivational voice.
So he sounds like that guy that was homeless. Remember him like 3-4 years ago? They found him holding a sign on the street, and then they picked him up, and he became like the voice of this radio station.
No shit.
Then he started doing all these voiceovers. He was on like Ellen, Oprah, and all this shit.
It might have been the same guy. I don't know. I paid this guy like $75, and he read, I don't know, 30 seconds worth of words.
Well, it was pretty badass, man. I like the opening there.
So the name, I was just trying to think. I was just sitting there thinking. I had a whiteboard in my office. I'm just writing shit down, and it just popped into my head, and I was like, I fucking love it, because what we're doing Beyond the Barrel, we're helping people once they transition, right? I mean, the stuff that we talk about is applicable to everybody, but the avenue that we take is through veterans, right?
Yeah.
So motivation and inspiration, finding your tribe, finding your purpose in life, that anybody can do that. We just take the vehicle of the military to do it. But I found the name, and I was like, fuck yeah, I love this name. I love it. And then I started doing research, and the URL was taken. It was not copyrighted or anything, but a small company somewhere, and they had I think they had the Facebook or Instagram as well. But so ours is Beyond the Barrel Podcast. So we got beyondthebarrelpodcast.com. Everything's Beyond the Barrel Podcast.
I had to do the same thing with Hammer.
Yeah,
I had to put podcast on it.
They're they're like a wine company. They do wine tastings.
Yes, because I looked them up on Facebook, and that's what comes up.
Yep.
You have to scroll down to find yours. I'm like, I know that is not.
If you do podcast, it comes up immediately. If you do just, I was fucking. I was writing a post on Instagram, and I did hashtag Beyond the Barrel, and they commented on it, and I was just like, oh fuck. Well, cat's out of the bag. We're copying your name.
Well, there's like for Hammered, there's a couple other podcasts. Well, there's one other podcast called Hammered. Nothing else, just Hammered. And I thought that was going to be an issue with like iTunes or Spotify. Nah, it's not at all.
No, the only thing that could be a problem is if they try to like trademark it at some point.
Yeah.
But fucking, I mean, the way I look at it is, it works for now.
Yeah.
If it becomes a problem later on, and if we go beyond just the podcast, at some point I also have the URL Beyond the Barrel Nation, and that'll be like if we create like our own little community off, like we got like Ryan Mitchell with Order of Man. He's got his little offline tribe where you got like a membership site and shit like that. So that's where I would pump that too if we decided to go that route once we actually have people that follow us.
So I'm sure you got followers. Your Facebook page, I thought I looked at it earlier. Oh wait, no, that was the other Beyond the Barrel had like 1,100. I think we've got 700.
7 and some change.
Yeah.
Instagram is slower.
I don't like using Instagram, honestly.
It's easier to get in front of new people.
Yeah. You can't link your stuff though.
What do you mean?
Like drop a URL in there.
No, you got to put it. You got to put it in the in your just say links in the profile.
Yeah.
So I just change it when I do it. That is what it is. You also can't drop a whole fucking video.
Yeah, it's like what 10, 15 seconds. Or something.
You can go longer. It's just got to go to the IGTV.
Too much pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So your guests on your show are all veterans that basically you're just trying to fit. You're interviewing veterans and seeing what they're up to now. Success stories, basically.
And seeing how they got there. So a handful of our guests so far have told us on the air that they actually got really depressed when they got out. 2 of them actually tried to kill himself. One of them burned his forehead, like when he pulled the trigger on his pistol.
Shit.
And he flinched or whatever, and it burned his forehead. So what we're trying to do is we identify the struggles that they had and kind of talk about how they move from having the problems to working through them and or living with them. Because I mean, you got PTSD, you got depression. I mean, it comes back, it's cyclical, but you got to have a way to deal with it.
So if any veterans are out here listening to this podcast and they're like, "Man, I got a story for John,"
hit me up.
Can they hit you up? How can they hit you up, bro? What you got?
Facebook, Instagram, Beyond the Barrel Podcast. You can email us at info@beyondthebarrelpodcast.com. We've got beyondthebarrelpodcast.com, our website. You can reach us there too. We're pretty much everywhere, just Beyond the Barrel Podcast.
Beyond the Barrel podcast, not wine barrels, folks. So,
No.
Yeah, I know you're gonna go to Facebook like I did, type in Beyond the Barrel, and there's gonna be wine barrels. Fuck the wine barrels. We don't drink
It's
wine
gonna
anyway.
be I think it's a green. It's gonna be a green reticle from a scope, so it'll be like crosshairs, or it'll have my logo. It'll be white with.
Boom.
Yeah, it'll look like that.
There it is, right there, folks. Beyond the Barrel.
And we're on all the major podcasting. We're also on YouTube and what's that other one? Ramble, some shit like that.
I don't know.
It's Rumble.
Rumble.
It's like YouTube, but for people that don't want to be censored.
Yeah, I'm not even on that one. That's one I need to look into.
Yeah, I'm also on what's that new one? Son of a bitch. What is it?
Is it a video or a podcast?
No, it's different. It is called it's Clubhouse. Well, it's basically it's like
yeah, we're friends on it.
Yeah, it's
I
like digital conference rooms where people go and share information. You can talk to the guests. You can talk. You can hold your own little meetings and share information, stuff like that. I'm not very active on it because some people are on and they're doing great with it, but I don't got time for that. I got a job.
Somebody invited me in the other night, and I downloaded it, made an account, and went into this room and heard this one guy talking. And he passed it on to somebody else. I'm sitting there listening to him. I'm like, well, this will be cool if it's your niche, but I don't think, if we were in there with a bunch of more podcasters, I'm sure, it would.
There's
be
a
cool.
lot of podcasters on there.
Yeah.
I know Zachary Babcock's on there. He's big, and he's big on Clubhouse. What's his name? Luis Diaz. He's a big podcaster. He kind of trains people and manages podcasts for a lot of people that have something to sell.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to sell, so me and you are in a different situation. We're doing a podcast for the podcast. We're not doing a podcast to push a product.
Yeah.
Even though I do try to get sponsors, I got some affiliate stuff that I do, but
that comes later.
Yeah,
that comes later.
Right now, we're just doing it for fun and our well-being.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in, brother. We planned this for a while, and finally our schedule's lined up.
And you don't have COVID.
Hey, bro. Yeah, I did have COVID for a while. Still can't get over this cough. I catch myself right then. I caught myself from coughing, but it is what it is. It's all good.
Oh, there it is.
Fuck, I
there
coughed. That's the first time during the show. Thanks, John. All right, folks. So we got John. John just got hammered up in here.
Woo!
He has his own podcast, Beyond the Barrel. Check out these links. Follow John and listen to his podcast. I've listened to a couple episodes. It's really, really cool. Veterans out there, if you want to hit John up and, hey, you got a good story to tell him, hey, hit him up right here. You see these links. You got plenty of ways to contact him. All right, John, thanks again, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Y'all have a good one, and peace. We'll see you next time on Hammered.